Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name's Holly Matthews. If you are watching outside of my community, if you are watching in the Happy Me Project Facebook group, if you're watching on my YouTube channel or on Twitter, then you probably know who I am. But for those that don't, I'm a self-development coach. I'm a former TV actress. I'm a TEDx speaker, and I'm the founder of the Happy Me Project. My job is essentially to help you to feel more happy and less crappy. It's a nice job to have. And welcome to everybody that's sitting in. If you are watching on Facebook, then unless you allow StreamYard to see who you are, I might not see your name come up. I will see your comments, of course, but just maybe let me know who you are and definitely come and say hi. I'm hoping you can all see me and hear me and all of that good stuff wherever you are coming from. Today's session is all about, good morning on Facebook. Today's session is all about changing your BS story. I'm going to try and not swear this morning because it's early on a Monday morning. I can't promise it will happen. I can't ever promise that this will be the case, but we're going to talk about this in my Facebook community and across my social media. I have seen a lot of people feeling a bit wobbly and a bit flat maybe, and I noticed it with myself as well, that there feels like a lot of stuff that needs to be gotten rid of. And I can see someone on Facebook asking, is this the new office? It is. Welcome to my new office. It looks very plain and bare right now, I have to say. It looks a little bit, it will have exciting things on the wall behind me at some point. But right now, it just looks like I'm in like a wooden box. I mean, essentially that is what it is, isn't it? But it's nice. It's got a rug. I have one chair or two chairs, including the one I'm sitting on. It's good. I feel good. I have to go to the office in the morning, which is exciting. Good morning to everybody on Facebook. Those guys that are saying good, I can't actually see who you are. For some reason, StreamYard only allows me to see you if you put a button somewhere to say good morning, Jane. Good morning, Jenna. Good morning, all. So we're going to get started straight away. And I'm waiting on a phone call. This is just real life. I'm waiting on a phone call from the doctor. So if the doctor calls, which is going to be well annoying, I'll have to cut myself off, which would be well annoying, won't it? But I'll come back. Anyway, today we are talking about changing your BS story, changing the story that is holding you back. If you have followed me for some time, you will know that I say change your bullshit story all the time. And I've already sworn, but it doesn't matter, does it? You're all adults, hopefully. Sorry for little ears. Cover your children's little ears. Always listen to me with headphones on. It's important that you do. Good morning, Martin. So if you have followed me, you would have heard me say that. And the reason that I say that a lot is because ultimately, in order for us to be happy, we cannot hold on to the same stories and sit in the same mindset that kept us unhappy. And I'm not necessarily saying that everybody here is unhappy, by the way, at all. But in order for us to also create the success that we want, the lives that we want, just creating the life that you want, you cannot hold on to old stories. And sometimes we aren't even aware that we are still holding on to these stories. But I'm going to get you to think about today the areas of your life that are challenging you right now, whatever that is for you, whether that's you feel you're a procrastinating kind of human, anxiety levels are high, whether it's that you're not getting to that next level of your business or your work in life or whatever else is going on, relationships, social stuff. You can put in your own stuff. Wherever there is a challenging area in your life, there is a story attached to that is sitting way down in your subconscious mind, and it is holding you back. And once we get to that, that's when things change. You'll have heard the quote possibly before, change your thoughts and change your world, by Vincent. I had to write that down because I knew I would forget who that was by. But change your thoughts, change your world. I cannot express how important it is to look at what is going on in that subconscious story that you have about who you are and what you are able to do. And when you do that, when you change that, when you tweak it, it doesn't even always have to be this big overhaul, but when you tweak this element of what's going on for you, you change everything. You just change everything. And the thing that excites me about this as a concept is that you don't have to go anywhere to do this. This is about you doing the inner work from wherever you are sat right now, that you start to begin to see what is going on for you in the background, what story you're holding on to with all of your might. And once you change that, that's when things start to happen for you. So the first thing, good morning, Mike on YouTube. The first thing I want you to think about is, how do you see yourself? How do you identify? How do you see yourself? So if you were to describe yourself, would you say you are a successful person? Would you say you are an intelligent person? Would you say you're a fun person, a humorous person, a funny person, a caring person? How do you identify? Because sometimes when we look at that, not all of those aspects of how we identify are positive things. So noticing what it is that you want to achieve in your life. It doesn't have to be achievement as in medals and accolades and all that kind of stuff. It could be that you just want a really lovely home, a safe and loving family and support network. That's a perfectly excellent goal to have in your life. But whatever it is, how you identify in yourself and who you believe that you are is what's going to get you closer to that or further away from that. So if I was to think, right, I really would love to be dead healthy, and I would love to be really fit, right? If I currently, this is actually something I'm going to start working on. I would like to be going back to the gym and doing more exercise and stuff like that. And currently I don't identify as a person that keeps fit regularly. So that's where my stop is, right? Because if I do not identify as a person, good morning, Marie on YouTube as well. If I don't identify until I identify as a person who keeps fit on a regular basis, I won't keep fit on a regular basis because it's not in my identity. I don't see myself as that person. I see myself currently, and this is something I'm working on, so you can go on this journey with me. I see myself as a person that sometimes does fitness and sometimes doesn't. And it's very periodic, and it's based on when I can be bothered or when it's not regular enough. And so until I change that story, I will sit in the space of somebody who doesn't always go to the gym, doesn't always exercise, and that doesn't fit with the lifestyle I would like to have, because I would like to live a healthy life. And so I know that I have to change that. So I want you to think about the life that you would love to have. What does it look like? Where do you live? What do you do? All of those kind of good things. How do you then identify who do you have to be to then get there? What version of you, what person does those kind of things? What is it that you are currently telling yourself that perhaps isn't suited to that? Okay. So it's always about the self-discovery, right? So it's sitting with yourself and thinking, how do I currently identify myself? And I hear this with my one-on-one clients all the time. I hear people who identify as the underdog, or I hear people who identify as somebody who has bad luck, or somebody who nearly gets there, so nearly succeeds, or gets a bit of success and then it drops off. I see these stories all of the time with clients, and it's ultimately that changes things for you. So let me know in the comments. I tell you what I didn't do this morning, and this is purely because I'm having a drink. It's purely because I haven't been on regular enough with you guys. So I haven't done my daily check-in with you, which I always do. Good morning. I can't see who's saying good morning, Trouble on Facebook, but good morning to you. How are you feeling, guys? 1 to 10. 1 being you feel absolutely rubbish today, 10 being that you feel incredible. Let me know in the comments. I always do that normally, but my head is all over the place this morning, clearly, because I didn't start with that, and I love to start with that. And the reason I do that is for you to check in with yourself, for me to be able to check in with you and see how you are, and for you as a community to be able to see how each other are feeling, and everywhere in between from 1 to 10. And it's really good for us to do that, especially on a Monday morning, to check, how am I feeling today? Do I feel good? Do I feel rubbish today? What's been going on for me? So do a little check. Oh, Jenna's not feeling great this morning. So Jenna in my lovely Facebook community is at a 1 today. It's good to know where you're at, okay? Because maybe, just maybe, we can get you to a 2 by the end of today. I think that's a really good expectation. It's a realistic expectation. I never expect people to go from a 1 to a 10 in one fell swoop. You'd have to be, I don't know anybody that would do that. So don't put that kind of expectation on yourself. When we check in with ourselves, the idea of it is to notice if you're feeling rubbish even, and then you can try and move it up. If you're feeling incredible, don't second guess it. Just feel good. Just be in it. Don't start thinking, it's going to drop off soon or anything like that. Just be, okay? And we can say I've got a 3, I've got an 8 from Martin. Oh, and Neil is a steady 7 today. Good morning, Neil. Steady 7. Marie's also a 7. Did I say that? I can't remember. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag this morning, and that's fine. That's how it is, right? Life isn't all a 10. It isn't, is it? I mean, it would be, in reality, we wouldn't appreciate our days of being on the higher up on the scale if we never felt those crap days or weeks, okay? So please be kind to yourself when you're at that lower end. There's no expectation to suddenly click and switch it up and it be absolutely fine. There's likely a reason or many reasons where you are at, okay? And actually, sometimes it's not even an obvious reason, is there? Sometimes just as human beings, whether we're hormonal, whether life just feels a bit meh, we don't really know why, we just don't feel it. And that's okay. We don't want to sit there, we don't want to stay there, but it's understanding that that's okay. Hannah's a 7 today. Let's have some sunshine to push us. Oh, absolutely. The sunshine would be lovely. And Faye on Facebook is also, a lot of 7s today. Everyone's at a 7. I wonder if it's catching the 7. We want to move Jenna up to a 7. And also it's Jamie on, I see who it is now. Jamie's a 3 as well. So we want to move you guys up. Even if we can move you up a little nudge there, that would be great. So going back to talking about your story, this all sits in with it, right? So when you identify in a certain way, you will create a life that works around that. So if I identify somebody who doesn't regularly exercise, I won't regularly exercise, okay? It's just that. That's end of story. There's nothing more complicated in that. So we need to look at what's going on for us and then identify what the story is surrounding that. So why don't I see myself as that? What's going on for me? Or just even acknowledging that is a story for you. So acknowledging, okay, I see myself as a person who has tough stuff happen to. That's who I see myself. If that's who you see yourself, then what's going to happen in your brain is your brain is going to seek out trouble. Your brain is going to seek out more problems. Your brain is going to regurgitate those old horrible things that have happened to you in your mind every day, and your body is going to respond accordingly. So when we run on autopilot, which we do a lot of the time, right? We wake up in the morning. If we are unaware of the stories that we play out to ourselves, we'll wake up in the morning and possibly we'll think about something bad that has happened in our worlds. And then our body will respond. We maybe feel anxious, we'll feel a bit rubbish, we'll feel a bit flat because we've played this story out in our mind's eye. We've played out what's been going on. And that will then make us wake up and feel pretty rubbish. And we will go about our day in that mindset. And our brain will be taken in the world as it does, and it will be seeking out more evidence to prove that that story is still running. Because unfortunately, in the background, you've still got that story running. So we need to get to that. So identifying that is even going on for you is really key. I'm just having a look at the comments. Good morning, Leanne. Good morning. We are well. Thank you so much for asking, lovely. I hope you're well. And so that's where we want to start. We want to start by identifying what's actually going on for you. Can you identify that? Is that something that you are consciously aware of at this moment? Maybe you've never thought about this before. You've never realized that you say to yourself, you subconsciously say to yourself, you know, people like me don't get that. People like me, or I'm just not a person who does this, or I'm a person this always happens to. Have you ever heard yourself saying something along those lines? Listen to what that story is. Because that will put a stop on you getting past that story. And your brain will just seek out evidence all day, every day. So if that story is currently negative, if that story is currently not a positive story about you or about the world or where you live or all of that stuff, if it's currently more negative, you will stay in that cycle until you recognize what's going on there, okay? Then we need to start looking at what are the daily habits that can help us to get out of that mindset. Once we've recognized what's going on, how can we change this story? Because we don't want to hang on to it because the story's holding us back. So we need to do some work on limiting beliefs. We need to look at what our habits are. You know, are our daily habits, the things that we do on autopilot, helping us? When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that you do? Is that habit helping you or hindering you? Is the first thing that you do pick up your phone? I would say it's probably one of the first things I do, even though I know it doesn't always help me. I'm pretty good at not going on social media too early, normally. Can't say I'm always good at that. However, my social media is fairly protected in that what I see on there is usually pretty good. And that's because I've got really ruthless with what I see and what I look at. However, that doesn't make it foolproof. It's not an amazing habit. And as soon as I get on there, it could be very easy on the wrong day to get sucked into a scroll hole, and then I'm making a habit that is not going to get me closer to the life that I want, which is being up and dressed and sorted and ready for the day. So look at those habits that you have every day. What is it that you say to yourself when you wake up, when you get dressed, when you look in the mirror, when you brush your teeth, when you have your shower? What is the story? What is the voice saying to you? Once we start recognizing the repetitive behavior, we can clearly see in a very obvious way why our life might not be going the way that we want, because the story that is in here, we then respond accordingly. If we believe we're an ugly, disgusting human being, we're going to walk around with our shoulders hunched and our face not looking at people and lacking in confidence, and then the world's going to respond accordingly to our unconfident, behavior. Success is not going to come to that person. So we have to identify what's going on for us, what's going on in the background here. How can I bring that up to the surface and then slap it about a bit and change the story? That's what we need to get to. And once we do that and we start deciding who we want to be, not who we've just been because we want on autopilot, who we want to be and the life that we want to have, then we start creating habits that support that. Then we start realizing, well, do you know what? If I want to be a person who I want to identify as I'm Holly and I exercise regularly, then I need to get real with that. When am I going to exercise? What time do I need to get up to support that? Do I need to get my gym gear out the night before? Do I need to have somebody else to hold me accountable? Probably. And that's also very important, having a support network that knows about your goals and your dreams and things that you want in life and can support you in that. That's why you guys being part of my community, whether you're in my Facebook group, which is a very protected space, and if you're not in my Facebook group, please do come and hang out in the Happy Me Project Facebook group. It's a lovely space to be. But if you're in my wider community on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or Facebook page, and you are part of that as well, then it's a great space to be, because the people that comment on here, the people that converse with me, largely, the majority, like 99.9% of those people are incredible human beings. So it's a good place to be in, right? When I'm currently doing, and today is the last day, or not the last day, tomorrow's the last day, but this is the last week of my group coaching program, the You Got This Academy. We've got some of my guys on here this morning, I can see on the live, some of my You Got This students, and it's an amazing space to be when you're in that, because it's accountable. You are held accountable to those in the group, and so it makes you show up for yourself. It makes you it makes you do stuff. It makes you do the positive stuff that we talk about, because it's dead easy, isn't it, to learn all of this stuff and understand techniques and tricks and things like that, but not to implement them because you didn't implement them before, right? Jenna says she's everywhere. I love that, Jenna. And I love it when I see people on every platform. That's amazing. And Hannah's just saying she's gutted that we are at the end of the 6 weeks, and so is Jane as well. I've absolutely loved it. This is the second time that I've done the You Got This Academy, 6 weeks of coaching with me, and I've loved it. The group, this is the second time round that the group has just been incredible. It's such a supportive space. What I would like to do, and certainly off the back of you guys in the You Got This Academy, is eventually create a membership space where we can do this kind of stuff regularly. I won't be charging the earth for that either, by the way. I know when somebody puts a paywall up, it feels like, oh, okay, you've got to pay for something. But equally, the other side of that, and this isn't me just being a twat, like, when we pay for stuff, we show up, don't we? It's a level of accountability. And most of my programs are at an affordable level. They're not crazy expensive. I don't put them at that level because I want you to be able to do them. So my idea will be, it's not sorted yet because, well, it's just never pretty sorted, is it, life? But my idea is to continue stuff with more of a membership, so that we can have regular stuff that we can do, regular videos that we can do, similar to what we do on these platforms, but with more accountability. And perhaps I haven't got all the details yet, but I've been thinking about the best way I can do this to help you guys, where we have accountability sessions, where we have more amazing speakers and people to come into the group as well. Yeah, I think I know I spoke about this last year and it didn't happen. And it didn't happen for many reasons, mostly because I just was so busy with everything else. And when I do this, which won't be that long, I'm working on it in the background. I want you guys to have loads of stuff in there to be able to work on, and just a really good, easy space for you. So that is something I'm working on, and it will be an affordable price. It's not going to be something where you can't afford anything. Amazing. Martin saying he's up for membership. A lot of you guys saying that you would pay for that. Yeah, I think that is going to be the next stage for me, guys, because I just want to make sure that, you know, those of you that will do the intense programs that I do, it's amazing. But then afterwards, you kind of want to go somewhere, don't you? And you want to continue that journey. And so that's what I'd like to put together for you very soon. So that is happening in the background for those of you that would like to do more of that stuff. And also, just to note, for those of you that are coming in from different spaces and don't know that, if you need something today, I've got the Happy Me Project 1 and the Happy Me Project 2. Those are courses that you can go off right now and grab. IamHollyMatthews.com/all my stuff is on there. And you can get and crack on with those. Those are not ones that I show up for. So if you want to work with me, you either work with me one-on-one, which is the highest level paying, whatever. That's my sort of highest paying point. And then there's the group coaching, which I will likely do this again at the end of the year. So September, October time, I'll be doing the You Got This Academy once again. I'm also looking at, and I'm really excited to be saying this, I'm looking at getting a date to meet people again in person and do an actual workshop in person. So if you are up for that, that is something that's probably going to be that's going to be out sooner. I've realized that actually we could meet in person, which would be incredible, because it feels such a long time ago when I did the Happy Me Project tour of the UK, and I want to see you again and meet you. And I'm sure that now you guys are getting to know each other in different spaces, that you'd like to meet each other as well. I know, real humans, Martin. It's terrifying, isn't it? Jenna says, if you need a helper for your in-person event, then I'm available. Amazing. Thank you, Jenna. I may well take you up on that offer. Hannah says, woo, woo, love it. Oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about being able to get to people in person. So I will be looking at that very, very soon. Alicia saying, yes, I love that. So guys, I'm just going to reiterate the last things that I was just talking about there, because I have to go very soon because I have a client this morning. So I want you to think about who you identify as, how you identify right now in your world. What are the stories that you're telling yourself around that? What are the thoughts that come up and create those stories? We want to get a pen and paper and just jot down some ideas around this. Notice who you tell yourself you are when it comes to success. Do you see yourself as successful? Do you see yourself as a person that is lovable? Do you see yourself as a person who is lucky? Do you see yourself as a person who can achieve great things? Do you see yourself as a person who can have the life that you want or not? And if you don't, then write that down. I don't actually see myself as a person who can have that. Well, that's a problem for you. That's something that's a challenge that we're going to have to work on, right? Then I want you to look at the daily habits. The life that you want is here. Are your daily habits supporting that, or are they hindering that? And then think about, well, if I was this person who lived this life and I identified as that person who was successful and loved and happy, what would I need to do to achieve that? What daily habits would get me closer to that? And much of my stuff should I just like sack off and put in the bin, because it's not helping me at all. Meditating, visualizing, journaling, which we're going to talk about, Jane, this afternoon in the You Got This Academy. And all of these things are very, very helpful in us creating that, getting into that story into our heads and putting that in our subconscious. Over everything that you do, be compassionate to yourself, okay? This journey, life, everything that we go through, it isn't always easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody said you could have it easy. Nobody said that the person that you watch on Instagram who you think is having it easy is actually having it easy, okay? Life is bloody challenging, as most of you who are on here know. If you're in my community, the likelihood is you've been through some shit, right? That's just how it is. All of us have, and if you haven't, you will, okay? So we need to understand who we are and how we respond to this stuff. And when we get there, when we get to understand who we are, when we respond accordingly, or we will understand it and we'll be able to help guide ourselves back in some way. As long as you hang out in my community, I will be dishing out the tools for you to be able to do that. And that's just super important. When we've got those and we practice them regularly, eventually they become habits. Eventually they become that support network that we need. So when we lose our minds for a little bit and we feel sad and we feel rubbish and we sit in our pants watching Netflix and all of that good stuff, when that happens, we know how to pull ourselves out because we understand how we work personally. Alicia's just saying, my habits right now are atrocious and I'm fighting to be more productive. So, okay, so get your pen and paper out today, Alicia. Brain dump what's going on and then see what you can do in a realistic way today. Don't do the unrealistic. It's stupid. It's pointless. It sets us up for failure. Good morning, Grace, on YouTube as well. So get that all out on paper. Have a look at it and then work out, what can I do today? What can I do today? And don't try and overhaul every habit, every bad habit that you've got. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to pick 1 or 2 habits and go, okay, well, how can I tweak them to fit what I'm currently doing? The desire to do the habit will always be there. It will be there because you've created it. So what can you replace it with instead? It's the after lockdown syndrome. Absolutely, Alicia. Absolutely. I was talking about this last week. It's a word I'm going to bang on about a whole heap, which is languishing. It's this feeling of just like the after effect of what's gone on. It is that, right? We are all feeling the after effects of that. So be kind to yourself. Don't chastise yourself or be unkind to yourself because you have to understand that you've just been through a whole thing. We are still going through it. We are still walking through these, okay? So keep walking through it. Be kind to yourself as you go. Appreciate that. Sometimes I'm going to get this wrong. Sometimes I'm going to go back to those old bad habits. I'm just going to start fresh again. I'm going to remember who I want to be. Who do I want to be? Who do I want to identify as? And I'm going to work towards that. I'm going to show up as that person, okay? Martin says he's turning languishing into an art form. I mean, it sounds lovely, doesn't it? Languishing. Sounds lovely. What a lovely word to say. That's why I keep repeating it. This is what happens with me when I get a new idea or a word. I just say it like over and over again because I love it for a bit. That's the way my mind works. So welcome to my mind. It's a crazy ride for everybody. And Jenna's just saying that I like all of these daily tasks. I love that. Well, Jenna, that's totally what You Got This Academy is all about, and also what I will create in the membership as well, because short, sharp things to do. That's what we like, isn't it? We're all busy people. We're all in our languishing lounge pants, and we want to get out of that and start going back out into the world. So I'm going to stop there, guys. Have an amazing day, whatever it is that you are doing. I will be on BBC Radio Coventry and Warwickshire today at 5:35. And this week on my social media, I'm talking a lot about opinions. Opinions was my theme of the week, and I'll be talking about opinions, other people's opinions, our own opinions on BBC this afternoon, and also on my social media all week. So let me know, chat on my stuff, subscribe in areas, or follow wherever you are. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, where I'm just basically hilarious in my own mind. I am on Facebook, the Happy Me Project Facebook group, I am Holly Matthews page. Where else am I? I can't remember. Did I say I said LinkedIn, didn't I? So I do hang out in these places, and even LinkedIn, I'm not really very focused. I haven't really been very focused on. But if you are on LinkedIn, go and follow the Happy Me Project on LinkedIn and connect with me on there as well. I am doing stuff a little differently over there, so have a look at that. Oh, I also have my podcast as well. So if you're not subscribed on my podcast, please do. That really helps me. And if you are on Apple, then leave me a little, review and all of that stuff. That would be incredible. Thank you so much. Oh, it's Twiggy as well, and you've made lots of notes. I love that. Thanks, Twiggy, and I will see you all very, very soon. Peace out. Have an amazing day, guys. I will speak